there isn't a huge difference between blue states and red states around medical marijuana. But yet still, there are many red states that have not passed any kind of marijuana legalization, including my home state of Tennessee, because of influence from cops. It's what it boils down to. The vast majority of people support at least medical marijuana. Like recreational is a little bit different, but on the medical side, it is extremely popular. It's like 80%, right? Plus. But yet, because cops don't like it in a lot of states, it is often defeated, particularly in red states, because, got to back the blue, want to be seen as pro-police, and the influence that your local sheriffs, policemen have with state elected officials, even though it is extremely popular, particularly as, in the aftermath of, I shouldn't say aftermath, but the result of the opioid crisis, right? As an alternative to a painkiller, recreational marijuana is even popular amongst, people that were very anti-marijuana even 10 years ago. But in many red states, it is still not allowed because of influence from police. So that's a great example of like that public opinion, right?
Is it kind of like that where the police are like, hey, look, if right now we say that we're not going to criminalize marijuana, that invalidates my life for my whole career, because now you're telling me that what I did was worthless. It was pointless. It was maybe even wrong that we were locking those people up. Do you know what the rationale behind that is?
I mean, I'm sure that's part of it. You're talking about like sunk cost fallacy. I think part of it is it just makes their job more difficult. I think part of it is it's, marijuana is used as a reason to stop and look for other things, right? It's usually like, I use this, for people listening, I'm using air quotes, like a gateway investigation, right? Like, the whole joke of it being a gateway drug, right? It's like, it's the same thing with like, tail lights, right? If we criminalize having your tail light out, it gives me an opportunity to stop you and search for other things, right? And so I think that's part of it as well.
Do you think any of it's also it's not, I don't think it's eminent domain. What's the eminent domain?
Civil asset forfeiture.
There you go. Yeah. Do you think that maybe has something to do with it too?
Oh, I think personally, absolutely. Right. There's a report, for example, that before I got to where I work now, our organization worked on some civil asset forfeiture reform. Getting rid of it is extremely difficult, but we were able to get some reporting requirements around it. Like, hey, every police department or sheriff's office, you have to at least report what you have taken, right, through civil asset forfeiture. And, the idea around it is that money or whatever was being used in the process of a crime, right? But I remember the first time I ever read it, it was like, it included like I think there were like 3 trombones and a flute that had been seized I'm like, what does that have to do with anything, And so it's just some of the funny stuff you see.